Good morning, Ra-cha-cha. I've always wanted to say that. Now I've done it, and I'll never say it again. Positively powerful. This morning, doing things a little bit differently. I figured I would use my studio to somewhat what it was designed for, and not what I've been using it for when I do this in the other room inside baseball. But Stacey Steinmiller here with me today, and we're gonna talk about being too busy, which we both have really intimate knowledge of that. Right? I mean,
Yes,
we're
a
always
lot of intimate
too
knowledge of
damn
it.
busy for our own good. But one thing that I really liked that you wrote in your okay, let me go back. So your article is going to post. It's not posting yet, so this is like a kind of a preview, right?
Yes.
So
Sneak
we're going to give you a
peek.
little tease of what the next article is going to be about. But basically, it's the illusion of being too busy. And I like how you kind of like did these little like a translation of like when you say you're too busy, what you're actually saying. So when you say I don't have time, you're actually saying I'm prioritizing this that I'm doing over the other thing that I'm doing. So whether it's working on your business or anything, working on your productivity or your mindset or your energy or anything like that, you're deciding that there's something else that's more important than doing that, and that's why you don't have time. And that's kind of like the in a nutshell thing.
Yeah.
Did I do it
It was
okay?
kind of like you did great, because I think something like that requires a bit more of a call out, because those excuses are so pervasive in society. We've kind of gotten used to it. And when I was writing this, it reminded me of a time many, many years ago. This was when I was on Pinterest all the time. And that's where I would kind of get like those inspirational quotes. That was before we would put them on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. And I came across one that said, "Stop the glorification of busy." And that like really stuck out for me. And I didn't really get into this in the post, but it was just like how we relate to being busy. It's like I have to be busy. I'm a better person for being busy. It's almost like you become addicted to being busy.
I saw a post the other day, maybe it was yesterday, a person who is a very fine business person and motivational speaker, and someone who gets people motivated. But I noticed that on this person's page, it was like, was it like no day off Thursday, no day off November. That's what it was, like no day off November. And it was implying that you're taking your business to the next level by not giving yourself a break in November, by taking no days off. And at first I was like, oh, no day off November. Yeah, hoorah. And then I was like, no, that sucks. I'm like, I need days off. I'm a human being. I have a family. I need to rest. I need to, I'm also in a creative business where I need to like recharge and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no day off November. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe for some people, that's what they need to do, is maybe they haven't been putting enough time in, and that's how they have to get themselves focused, is to throw away all the distractions and just go right and not have a day off in November. And what works for one person may not work for the other, but it kind of struck me just now when you're talking about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the same thing.
Yep.
You're specifically saying now it's the other way around. I am not going to make time for anything other than work. And to me, that's the other extreme that you don't want to do.
Exactly. And that's kind of like this post, is meant to like call that out too, because you're often usually prioritizing stupid things, which is why you're too busy. You're probably going to get to this. But what the thought I had that kind of sparked this entire post was, I think somebody like didn't have time. There was something, somebody said they didn't have time, and and it reminded me all this. And the analogy that came into my head was that's like saying you don't have time to get gas.
Right.
And it's like, how far are you gonna go if you don't make the time to put
Right.
gas in your car?
Right. You're going to run out of gas on somewhere on the west side, and you're not going to know where you are. And or the east side if you're a west side person. Either way, you're going to be really far away from home when you run out of gas because you're never right around the corner.
So, you know, and you're so funny. And I was thinking about health as well, right? When people say like, I don't have time to exercise. Okay, well then you make, you know, then you make time for your illness. So I don't have time to cook a healthy meal or that, you know, so things like that. And I use some business examples too, right? Like, so if you don't have time to get your energy straight, if you don't have time to get your mindset straight, if you don't have time to engage in things like doing the type of work that we do here, you're gonna find the same problems, or you're gonna run into problems just like if you don't find time to exercise, just like if you don't find time to get gas. You're going to have bigger problems. Yeah.
Yeah. And your clientele, you work with therapists, you work with coaches and stuff like that. And that group seems to be almost the most guilty of saying they don't have time, which is a little bit ironic.
Funny.
You know, what's the struggle there? Why do they seem to not have time more so than others?
I think there's a big people-pleasing component that comes in these professions. So I think a lot of service-based entrepreneurs or helpers tend to, it's almost like you're conditioned to put other things before your own needs. And then that's where, you know, people say, well, I don't have time to exercise, to go to the gym. And it's like, well, what do you do? Well, I promised so-and-so that I'm going to do this. And
so it's the selfless martyr. It's the martyrdom when you're giving all of yourself away so that your clients or whatever can be better, but yet you are starting to suffer in the same respect.
Right. And then it's like, well, I can't work on myself, Stace. I don't have time to do this. It's like, well, but why this is how you got into this pickle to begin with, right? Because you keep saying yes to all these other things that are ultimately depleting you and not actually serving you. And then that goes into like worthiness issues and I love this. This is so cool. Oh, I love it.
If we're not having fun, then there's no point to it all.
Exactly.
And I totally interrupted your thought by being a goofball.
You're fine. I was done.
So when you say like, I don't have time, what you're really saying is that I have time to be stuck. Like, I'm totally fine with being stuck, right? Like, and what happens when you call people out on that? I know you've called me out on my BS quite a few times, and I've gotten used to it, and now I appreciate it. And I go, you know what? You're right. I'm being this or that. But, you know, generally what's the response?
Ooh, well, can I throw it back on you? Like those first couple of times?
Yeah.
Like, what was that like for you? You know, when it's like, whoa, wait, nobody's ever really...
It's total. It's like excuseville. You know, there's always a reason. There's always an excuse. I'm different than the other people because of this X, Y, and Z. But really, when it comes down to it, you're not. It's excuses are excuses, and what we talk about excuses all the time, and where they come from, and then that goes into the energy that you're putting toward the things you're doing, and the story that you're telling yourselves to reinforce all those things, and you know, I had experienced that once before when I did therapy, back in 2017, 2018. Maybe 2019 too, where I was kind of called out when I was doing whatever, you know, when I was not And usually it was when I was slipping back into my old woe is me, I suck, I'm no good, and I got called out and it was like, who are you becoming? Who do you want to become? And why are you going back to that old person that you don't want to be? You have to, push that out. So but took some getting used to, but I really do appreciate it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, so it's kind of usually coming back to, so yeah, I think at first it might, well, and that's why I try to do things like we do these lives or blogging and writing and my social media posts. And sometimes I might even be more bitey than I am actually, so that people know what they're signing up for. So I kind of do that on purpose so that by the time people sign up for coaching, they know that they're going to be held to a certain standard. And so when they're signing in, they're knowing like it's like a consent, like this is what I want and this is what I need. So that's kind of how I guess deal with that problem so that I don't get people coming in and then getting mad or upset or then running back out of a program being like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, right? So I usually don't have that problem. But I think I do a good job of putting out there of like, this is what you'll get when you step into working with me.
And I think if you're trying to find, if you're going to work with a coach, you decide you're going to work with a business coach or personal coach, whatever, any kind of self-improvement doula.
Right. I like that.
Right. You want to get better, and therefore you have to entrust that person, entrust their knowledge, and trust their skills to guide you to that next level of who you're going to be. So it makes zero sense to fight them on it.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yes. And it's okay to fight in a way of like, how do I work through this? Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, these are, but yeah. And that's the thing too, is people that want to achieve their goals, they want to be held to a high standard. And that would actually erode the trust if I didn't hold my clients to a high standard, right? So it's like, well, you say you want to be here. You're hiring me to support you in achieving those goals. And if you give me an excuse and I just say, okay, and that to me, that's not doing my job.
That's not doing your job.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to believe your excuses to help teach you how to not believe your excuses. Right. I'm going to see your strength and respond to you as a strong person so that you start to see yourself as a strong person. And that's basically all it is like how I see my clients. They eventually start to see themselves that way too, which is that's really cool. I love it.
Let's see what Matt has to say. Gotta stop and recharge at times. All work and no play. Yes, makes Matt a dull boy. First responder mantra: don't become a victim yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't effectively care for others. 100% true. And I just realized this view. I guess if I switch to this view, it still looks like I'm in front of a green screen. And I'm not,
because you use the screen.
Because I use a green screen.
Studio.
Yeah, from that same background. So it's like,
right.
I could be in there with that background and no one would know the difference. But I'm not. See. Oh boy, such fun times. Okay. So the next obvious thing is there are going to be people who say, no, I literally have no extra time. I do not have, like, every moment is accounted for. What do you say to those people?
Okay. Right?
Okie doke.
I guess at that point, that's when, it's like, okay, well, what, so right now, do you want to work on these goals then? Right? Like, if you can't make time for those goals, if you're not willing to do that, or you say, you're unable. But I also don't believe that you're ever unable to. Like, there's
Right. So would you go through and like say, all right, let's walk out. Let's plan out your day. Any given day, what do you do? And be honest. Tell me everything you do. If you sit on the toilet for 45 minutes on Facebook, let me know, because that's time. You don't need to do that unless you have some sort of like digestive issue that makes you have to sit on the toilet for 45 minutes.
Maybe they have like Crohn's disease or
whatever. Hey, and that's
Um,
totally fine. I mean, it's not fine, but we get it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't go to like that extremes because it never feels good. You don't ever want to feel like every moment of your day is accounted for or things like that. I don't believe in that kind of pressure and so forth. But it's usually things like, okay, we'll hire a house cleaner or something. That might be something that I might suggest. And people get really like they balk at a lot of these things. Well, that costs money. It's like, well, isn't that the whole point of you have a job and you're working all these hours, and you know what I mean? So it's like what is the goal here then? What is the life that you're trying to set up? Because it's usually some sort of mental judgment. It's not that they don't have the money to hire a house cleaner. It's something else that's deeper. So even just like offering a solution and then hearing the excuses, like you said earlier, then it starts to illuminate what the real stuff is underneath the excuse.
Right. And we've talked about this quite a few times, where it seems like every other day there's something in retrograde or some crap like that. Mercury is in something like that. And so, but you do obviously take those lunar cycles or whatever you want to call those into account when you're talking to people about this stuff. How do you work that stuff in? And how real is it? Tell me really. I mean, is it just some like coach voodoo that you just try to...
I just find it interesting and fun, and I like how it can help orient us. So it's not about. I don't like it when people use it for blame or excuses or things like that. But it can help channel our energy. So the idea of when something's in retrograde means it's like a going inward process, so that might be a time of like reflection and seeing, well, what is working, what isn't working, so Mercury is about communication. So when Mercury's in retrograde, it is more of like kind of combing back of, like what's going on in here around those topics. So I think most people don't use it the way that it's like supposed to be used. But
they use it for evil.
Evil, yeah.
Right.
But I mostly like to use the lunar cycle on the new moon, which is a little after midnight tonight.
After midnight.
So tomorrow. And I love doing intention setting on the new moon.
Yes.
And that's my favorite. So that's the one thing I do, and I do with my other group, is we get together and do a Zoom call once a month, and we do intention setting together.
So I had these awesome ladies come in yesterday. Shout out to Deborah and Deanna at Tim Makeup. They're so cool. They're twins, and they do a lot of videos on YouTube, and they want to start a podcast. And so they came in and we're talking about it. And right off the bat, I knew I wanted to work with them because they made multiple references to, well, the energy going into that. What's the energy? And I was like, okay, now I can see like where they're coming from and they were talking yesterday about how much intention setting has completely changed their lives, for the better, where you get up in the morning and you take the first 10 minutes of your day to set intentions for the day. And I know a lot of people roll their eyes at stuff like that, but I got to tell you, it really is, it's game changing when you do it consistently and you believe in it. Yeah. It really, really works. And I set an intention this morning that I was going to come in here and like set up the studio. It was already kind of set up, but utilize the setup that was here from yesterday and do things a little bit differently and step way out of my comfort zone. to have all these controls here that I don't use on a daily basis for a live stream and see if I can just pull it off. And that was my intention this morning, you know, and hasn't been too bad. See?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
BTS camp.
Yeah. And then so the intention setting is about shifting our state of being into what we actually desire and what we want and what serves us. Because honestly, we're always setting intentions. We just might not be conscious of it. So like back to the whole I don't have time. If you're saying I don't have time, you're setting an intention that you don't have time. You know? Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever noticed when you say you don't have time, that's the time that like everything comes up in your life, right? Like there's a snafu here, there's a snafu there, and you're always like, of all days, I don't have any time.
Right.
You set that intention, you put that out there, and so then it's like, oh, you think you don't have time? Here you go. I'll make it even harder for you. So if you set an intention of like everything is working out for me, what needs to get done gets done, and I'm super excited about everything I'm doing, you're like, wow, I got so much done, and I don't feel drained. I don't feel pressure. Like everything's kind of flowing, and I feel good. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep breaking into song today and totally stepping on your chi.
No, you're fine.
What was I gonna say, Stacey? I can't remember what I was gonna say. I set an intention to not forget, and I forgot. Oops, my computer decided to go. No, I don't want to work. What's something? That's what I wanted to ask. What's something? So let's say I'm working throughout my day, and I start slipping back into the I don't have time things. Is there what's a good like little reminder that someone could just keep on hand, like keep on their desktop or write it down and put it on the whiteboard or something like that, where you say, you know, because a lot of times I'll find myself thinking that whatever, I'm not good enough or da-da-da. And I go, nope, stop. Yeah. That's the old Scott talking. Reset. Let's go back and start that over. Is there something that you like to repeat or something that other people can use for that?
I might have shared this on here before a while ago, but I like...
Well, share it again.
I like to say, I'm the master of time.
I love that. I want to try to put a bunch of reverb on your voice, and I want you to say, I am the master of time. Too much? Maybe.
I
Maybe
think
a little
you
bit.
should do that.
Maybe. Yes. We'll do that for next time. Yeah, no. And yes. And we have said that before, because I remember my immediate first thought was the Invictus poem.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. That's right. Yeah.
Master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Yeah.
Right. So it puts us back into the power seat and recognizing everything. Like it's coming from my energy. And
Matt's just plain lazy, and he owns it. That's good. Owning is half the battle, right? Isn't that what they say? It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've gone through that stuff too, of a lot of resistance of, I don't want to change. I don't want this. Can I just be in my little pity party? Can I just, that was a big, took a few years to get through I don't want to keep growing.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the most important, and we're going to go into the takeaways here, but just like the pre-takeaway for all of this, all of this, and I think some people forget this, is that this stuff doesn't happen overnight. You don't change like that. It takes repetition. It takes practice. It takes consistency. It takes belief and faith that you can become the person that you want to become. And I think because our society is so, instant gratification, I want it now. Hey, if I meditate today, I'm going to be awesome. Like, I'm just going to meditate today, and my life is going to be boom. There's going to be a yacht. on it, you know?
Right.
And,
yeah. I put an ad out. Why isn't my business filled?
Right.
I
right.
went on a date. Why am I not married yet? Like, that's kind of, like that's what. Yeah.
But I think that's what a lot of people kind of forget is that it's the same with weight loss, you know? Like I was working at it forever, about to give up. And finally I started to see some results and I was like, oh, cool. Stay the course.
Yep. Exactly.
But, I think just as a society, we just give up too soon. We want things to happen so quickly and it's just not the way to, and it's kind of like the universe saying, all right, are you worth this? Is this, is this for you? Because I want to see you show up and do the work and then you will get it. You deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's still choosing a belief, when you give up, you've chosen that it doesn't work instead of continuing on the course of knowing like, this is what I'm moving towards. And I know it's going to work because that's what I know. And I know I'm out here living my purpose and living my dream and all of that. And then if you're unsure of that, then it's like, well, then that's your priority is to get sure on that. Right. So that you stay those courses and stopping all the time, right? And so, you're going to experience a lot of failures and a lot of roadblocks because if you're not sure and committed to your course, then you probably are going to quit, right? So you have to be committed. It means that you need to know your purpose. It means you got to, stay on the path. So that's
Hell yeah. So takeaway time. Woo, what did we learn? I don't have time is actually I'm choosing something else, right? The compound cost of not now is greater than the investment of yes. That's super important. Yeah. I don't think people realize that. And fueling yourself isn't a luxury. It's a leadership decision, right? You can't get very far if you don't fill up your gas tank.
Exactly. Model.
Well, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing things a little bit different. I enjoyed BTS Cam.
Yeah.
So that was our Positively Powerful. And then your article is going to post shortly. And then, of course, you'll find the podcast version of this as part of your article. It's like right there on top.
Together. Yeah. I felt like I was bombarding with doing an article and the podcast. So now I'm putting it all in one place.
Yes.
So if you say you don't have time because you're getting too many emails, I've taken it from 2 emails down to 1.
Stacey Steinmiller, artist of consolidation. If you have any questions or if you have a topic you'd like for us to discuss, reach out to either one of us. And we're always happy to take some, ideas or whatnot. And this was great. We'll see you next time. Or no, next week is next week Thanksgiving? I think we're going to take next week off. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be.
Next week is Thanksgiving. Yeah,
okay. So yeah. So we're probably going to skip next week, and throughout the holidays, there may be a Wednesday that we miss just because it's the holidays. And
we're modeling leadership.
That's
decision of self-care.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Light out, you're on in the night, looking fresh, looking tight, honey. Everybody want a piece of